DJ Kool. Do you mind? I could go by your name, but I didn't know, some people don't like being called by their name. So I didn't want to call you by your first name. Okay, see, that's why I didn't. But tell the people, I know you're from DC. Tell the people a little bit about your background before you even got known as DJ Kool, the little boy.
Uh, I was very much into sports, a full sport athlete coming up. Um, in my mind, I wanted to play point guard, shooting guard for the LA Lakers in the 80s. But God was like, "No, I want you to be DJ Kool." So the first person that I seen that was one of my earlier musical influences to become a DJ was a guy named Maniac McLeod that used to play at a club that used to be in DC, Northwest DC, called The Room, which is the club that I later played in starting in 1982. So I
Wow.
started as a DJ in 1977, though.
1977. So your first DJ experience, tell me about that. Was that at a party? Was it at a club? Where was it?
Um, I would say we were doing events. I was working with a mobile disco company called the Sound Service. Shout out to Dr. Ashton Greaves, and he was the one that owned the Sound Service, and he would kind of contract us out, me and a couple other guys, because he had multiple, setups that he had, and he would contract us out to do different events. And so I started with him in 1977. I did that for 2 years, being a mobile DJ. And then I got my first job rather, in a club in 1979 at a place called the Paragon 2. Shout out to my man Richard Jefferson for that.
Wow, back in the day, DJs wasn't really the main attraction. The main attraction was usually who the DJs bought out. But you changed the game. You're one of many who changed the game, and people now go to shows. Case in point, we just came off a great tour with New Edition. And even though people were there to see the show, you had the party going on out there in the Coliseums. Everybody was pumped up in the Coliseum. So there was a show before the show. So talk to me about the importance of the role of being a DJ.
You the guy that keep the ball rolling, keep the party going. You know what I mean? It's all up to you. You got a bunch of people standing out there in front of you that want to be entertained, and you have to be able to entertain them. You got to be able to get their attention, and you got to be able to move them around in that room in any direction you want them to go in. But to be able to do that, you have to be a student of the game. You got to master your craft, and that means practice, practice, and more practice.
Yes, indeed. Now, there's a brother that I had on here earlier that is from the DC area, and I'm not sure if you recognize him. He has some history with you. One of the things I was going to do on Instagram is I had some people that really knew of you. They wanted to give you your flowers, and that was a part of the whole thing. So we're going to deviate a little bit, and I want to bring him on. He goes by the name of Big Phil Speaks. And I don't know if you recognize this man, but I want to bring him up for a minute because he has some history with you, and I want to allow him to bring it back to your remembrance. Big Phil, are you there?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. DJ Kool, salute.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate it.
I don't know if you want me to go ahead on in on it. We, at a time, you managed a group that included my best friend. He was a couple years older than me. There was 4 individuals, as far as my recollection. One of them being a brother that turned out to be the Stone Cold Hustler, DC Scorpio. Ugo, which went by MC Supreme. Easy G, I think that's what he went by, Garvin. And my best friend, which was Eddie Beat, Edward Brown, or whatever he goes by, Ja Preem now. I think they were called IPB, International Party Blasters, many moons ago, or whatever. And then more recently, 2015, I did a event up at the Eclipse with the Brother Worm. It was an 80s throwback go-go. Trouble Funk,
Wow.
Junkyard Air Raid with yourself. I know you've done a multitude of parties since then, but part of my promotional days, I guess you could say, or whatever. So I said, yeah, we had strange history. Not strange, but yeah, certain circles or whatever
So
that intertwined at times.
So let
Hmm.
me ask you something. When you did that monumental event, what was it about DJ Kool that made you say, I need DJ Kool for this event out of all the DJs?
Well, we were doing an 80s throwback go-go, and DJ Kool is synonymous to DC, just like Chuck Brown is. For those that know who Chuck Brown, the Godfather of Go-Go, is. And me and Worm was like, who could we get? And we both said it at the same time, DJ Kool. And Worm had the end. Worm had the end with DJ Kool. So it all made sense or whatever. And it was a wonderful night, wonderful party, wonderful get together. If y'all weren't there, you missed one. You know, that's a fact of Mundo. But yeah, Worm kind of alley ooped the situation. We had a wonderful situation, but DJ Kool been ringing bells for years since I was a peon, so to speak. Because I'm a few years younger than him, and like I said, my best friend was a couple years older than me, so that gives you a little what you call it.
Thank you to all
I'm
those
sorry,
out
we
there
have a
that know.
bad echo going on right now, and I don't know why.
You can hear it. Is it me?
Well, I have a delay going on, and then I hear echo going on from you all.
Let me see.
Let me
Then
see something here. Just a moment.
All right.
make sure the echo goes away. Now, let me ask you a question, DJ Kool. What is it that makes you different than all the other DJs? When you come, besides your humility, and it's like you make a person forget about their troubles and do everything. When they come to the party, I don't party anymore. Okay, let me just tell you, I don't party anymore. But when I went to the Soul Picnic on this past Saturday, I cut up when you got on that turntable. I cut up. You made me forget about everything, and every time you played the song, you just took me back to a time where it was a happy time. And so is that a part of your mission? What is it that you aim to do when you get on that stage and you get out there with that crowd?
I mean, I just want everybody to have a good time. Um, I've always tried to be the type of DJ that I would like to see if I came to a party or an event. I want somebody up there turning up. Somebody that's gonna make me want to turn up. So, I'm just trying to trade energies back and forth. You know what I mean?
That's a fact. And DJ Kool inspired other DJs in the DC area. One, I think, who kind of really grabbed hold of DJ Kool's style, the homie Flex.
Oh
He
yeah.
definitely came. He definitely came out of your school. The funk regulator CeeLo, another one.
Yeah,
I
you got
know
DJ Dirty Rico. Uh,
Rico. That's a fact.
Most
Yeah,
recently, DJ Quicksilver.
that's a
But
fact.
the thing is, like people like CeeLo and Quicksilver and all of those, like I think I inspired them indirectly. I know I inspired Rico directly. I actually had my hands on them.
Mhm.
So it's surprising to me, and it's very humbling to me to hear somebody with the skill set of a DJ CeeLo or the skill set of a DJ Quicksilver say that I was one of their earliest influences to do, what they're doing now. I mean, Quicksilver has said this to me numerous amounts of time.
That's a fact.
Wow.
So it's humbling.
That's a fact.
Now, before we ran into everything on Instagram, before we came over here, we were talking about the ladies. We were talking about how there were some women that helped to set the trend for this hip hop. Out of all the women, which one stands out the most in your mind when it comes to this 50 years of celebrating hip hop, DJ Kool?
I mean, we need to go back. We need to go back to Sha Rock.
I said it. Shout out. Yeah,
So
yeah.
we need to go. We need to start with her first, and then move up. Yeah, there's been a lot of them. Um, and then if you want to talk about female hip hop groups, we want to start with probably the Mercedes ladies. or either the sequence
That's the sequence. Yeah,
before Salt and Pepper.
that's a fact.
You know, the sequence first Salt and Pepper.
Angie Stone was a part of that, correct?
Exactly. And her sister is Blondie
Mm.
of Salt and Pepper. Salt and Pepper wrote a lot of them Sugar Hill Gang songs back in the day. They was writing for Sugar Hill Records. A lot of people don't know that.
Mm.
So I got
Wow.
a song called What the Hell You Come In Here For? I sampled the sequence one, two, three, four. What the hell you come in
Come
here
in.
for? That was from their record.
Oh wow, wow.
Now, some people really don't know and understand what hip hop is. In your definition, what is hip hop?
I mean, I don't know, man. Something that was created grassroots. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know, man. A lot of us was in schools beating on tables and whatnot. And Cass was beatboxing. Shout out to Dougie Fresh and Biz
Fact.
Marquis
Bismarck.
and a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? Just, I don't know, man. Just kind of making a way out of no way, just showing our creativity. You know what I mean? Um, I guess that's one of the best ways that I could describe it. You know what I'm saying? Just, I don't know, man, just us being us. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Especially people of color. We're very, very creative musically and
That's a fact.
artistically. You know what I mean? And so it's just something that we create on our own.
That's a fact.
It's definitely a style of culture. And so when we think about hip hop, there's a couple of elements that come to my mind. I think of MCing, I think of DJing, I think of breakdancing, graffiti, and I think of beatboxing. Those are the things
That's
that
it.
come to my mind when it comes to hip hop. And back in the day, a lot of people saw it as a negative way, because they didn't understand it. But it's a way of communication. So many people told their story in hip hop, you know.
Hmm.
And when I think about people like
Positively
your Run
and
DMCs and
negatively,
everything, yes, sir.
That's a fact.
So
Yeah.
believe it
do
or
you
not. But I think a lot of the stuff that you heard that was probably thought to be negative for a lot of people, they were just telling their actual stories, like
Mm-hmm.
what they seen as soon as they opened the front door. You know, somebody coming up in I don't know, in L.A., in Compton, back in the days, with all the, with a lot of stuff that was going on with the gang culture and
Mm-hmm.
police brutality and all that other kind of stuff. You know, when you're talking about a group like NWA, them dudes was talking about what they was seeing, that after police stuff and all that, they went through that.
That's a fact.
So, that might be negative to some folks, but for them, that's everyday life in South Central LA.
So let me ask you this. What do you feel as though it's older, hip hop or rap?
Rap,
That's a fact.
So is
yeah,
rap an ingredient of hip hop?
definitely, definitely. Shout out to DJ Hollywood,
Mm-hmm.
okay? But before DJ Hollywood, you can go back to Cab Calloway with the
Scatting
call
and
and response.
on a response. Yeah, yeah.
Hottie, 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 ha. Hottie, 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 ha. Hottie, hold it, hold. You know what I mean? You can, you can go to Picnic Markham. Here come
Mm,
this judge.
Now, right
And
now
a
we
lot
have a
of
person that
that's a
is
fact.
really bringing a lot of attention to rap right now, and that's LL Cool J with his movement. Are you familiar with the movement he has going on right now?
somebody rock the bells.
Yes, yes.
Yes, definitely. I mean, that's him. You know what I mean? That's him. He is hip hop. Period. So shout out to LL. Shout out to Big Daddy Kane. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Big Daddy Kane has now been made a part of the Rock the Bell situation, and it's in good hands.
Yeah, and you know what? A lot of people think they only look like us, but I remember the first rapper that didn't look like us, like Vanilla Ice.
You gotta
Was
go
he the
further back.
first?
Him.
Would you say
Well,
he was the first?
nah, no, 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 no. No, you got a lot of cats, Puerto Rican cats and whatnot. Um, Fearless Four. You know what I mean? What was my man? The Mighty Tito. I think that's what he called himself. He was a Fearless Four, I believe. Puerto Rican.
And Charlie Chase. Yeah, yeah.
A lot of Puerto Rican cats in New York that had a whole lot to do with hip hop back in the day. Now, as far as
Yeah.
white folks is concerned, maybe
Wow.
Yeah.
Vanilla Ice. Vanilla
Me.
Ice was a good friend of mine. I toured with Ice a lot in the summertime. We travel with a company called Universal Attractions, and we do a thing called Out of the 90s.
Okay.
So I rock with Ice a lot. Um, I'm not sure if Ice was the first
I think the
Caucasian
Beastie Boys.
rapper. Now,
I
he
think.
might have been the first one to blow the way that he did.
Mm,
The first one, I think, Ice sold Diamond, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, yeah. I think he might have been the one to get that like you said, to blow up. Yeah, because I think Beastie
Right. The first
came.
mainstream.
Yeah.
The first. But now here's the interesting thing. I'm from Jamaica, Queens. I was born and raised in Harlem, but then I moved to Jamaica, Queens. And I know back in 1971 in the Bronx, there was a man that got a name similar to you that had a lot to do with the beginning of that rap industry, and that was Kool Herc.
Yep, DJ Kool Herc, which
Right.
is a lot of
You know,
people mistake me in him, but I say I'm a better looking man than he is, so I'm not. Now, shout out to Kool Herc, man. That's my guy.
Shout out to Cool Herc.
Um, as a matter of fact, congratulations to DJ Kool Herc on his induction to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, yeah. That's big. That's huge.
and
And
somebody
it's
said we
kind of
had
crazy. Here's a funny story. Probably about a couple of weeks back, I was in the airport. Um, I think I was in New York. I don't know. And this white guy came up to me like I have my logo on me a lot when I'm out with my tour jackets and things. And this white guy came up to me and said, "Man, congratulations on your induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame." And I was like, "Oh, hey, thank you." You know what I mean? So I was trying to catch my flight anyway, but I didn't think about it. I say that damn fool thought I was Cool Herc.